my friends, and welcome to another episode of your math class. And today we are starting lesson 1 of fractions. This is lesson 1 of 10, and what is really interesting is that's a fraction in itself. We start talking about fractions, the first thing we start talking about is proper fractions, okay? So what is a fraction exactly? Well, a fraction is a portion of a whole object or number. So let's say that this piece of paper is our whole piece of paper. Right? There you go. I've got a whole piece of paper here. Now this piece of paper can be split up many, many times. Maybe I just want to share it with somebody. Now I have 2 portions of this piece of paper. It's no longer a whole number. It's now half. It's 1 of 2 pieces. 1 of 2. Now, let's say I had that, and then I divided it equally. We have to remember that it's always an equal distribution. So I'm going to fold it to make sure it's equal. And instead of having 2 halves, I had 4 quarters. So now I have 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece, 4 piece. And each one of these pieces represents having 1 of the 4. So the numerator is 1, and the denominator is how many there are. The number on top represents how many you have. So if I were to have just this 1/4, this 1/4 piece of paper, that would mean I'd say I have 1 of the 4. The denominator tells you exactly how many pieces there actually are. So even though I only have 1 of the 4, we have to write on the bottom, the denominator, how many there actually are, and there are 4, all right? So if I were to say to you that Jim ate half the pizza, in your mind, you'd probably be able to visualize an empty pizza box with half a piece of pizza in there. And you would know that, yeah, there were at one point 2 halves of pizza, but Jim ate half of it, so now you know that there's only 1 half. Alright, so for a lot of you, this is quite a bit of a review because we do touch fractions starting in grade 4. So we're just going to sort of start it off really basically so that you feel, comfortable with the fractions here. So the first question, and these are going to be some of the questions you see on your exercise book. So it says, what fraction of these shapes have been shaded? Pretty simple. We see that we have 9 portions in this shape. It's right at the bottom there, 9. And 2 of them have been shaded. So I would write a 2 on the top there. Now in the exercises that you have in your booklet, they don't give you the denominator and they don't give you the numerator. They're just going to give you a line like this. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to count up how many are shaded and then count up how many are not shaded. Let's look at this second problem here. Now, weird, hey? They give you the number 3 on the bottom, and these ones are weirdly shaded, like the whole thing's not shaded. Well, I can tell by looking at it that it looks like half of one bar is shaded and half of another bar is shaded. That tells me probably that 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 out of 3 is shaded. 1 out of these bars is shaded. Now, the next one says, draw a diagram to represent the fraction. So basically, I'm just going to do the reverse. Here, they made me write the fraction of the diagram, and here I have to draw the diagram. So for the half one, you don't have to do a square. You can always do a circle. This one, I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to divide it in half to the best of my ability, and then I'm just going to shade one side. So 1 of 2 pieces is shaded. For this one, it says 3 of 8. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw bars. I always find that sometimes it's easier to draw bars because I have the lines on my paper. There I have 4 pieces, and to make it 8, I'm just going to cut them all in half. And it says 3 out of my 8 are shaded, so I'm just going to do this. And I don't even have to shade them all together. I can shade them like that. So now I have a visual representation of my fraction, and I have a numerical representation of my fraction. Let's do one more. Let's do 1/4. All right, so I have 1/4 or 1/4. So they want to see how many 1/4 would represent in an image. Well, I know that I can do a circle. I can divide it into 4. And we've decided we're going to shade 1. There we go. 1 out of 4 is shaded.